Yesterday, I recorded the latest talk with the clinical psychologist Daria Zhukovska, and we focused on the similarities between stupidity and narcissism. That is not to say that all stupid people are narcissists, or that stupidity is a form of narcissistic personality disorder, but stupidity has many clinical features common with narcissism. For example, stupid people are grandiose, stupid people are entitled, and stupid people engage profusely in magical thinking. If I only put my mind to it, everything is possible, and the universe will arrange itself according to my wishes. We live in an environment of truthism. Opinions are as good as facts, and facts are merely opinions. We live in an environment of malignant egalitarianism. Anyone who has access to a smartphone and by extension to Wikipedia is as qualified, as educated, as much of an expert and as much of an authority as anyone who has dedicated his entire life to any given field. Everyone is equal. Malignant egalitarianism. The grandiosity that I mentioned has to do with the fact that stupid people are usually too stupid to realize how stupid they are. This is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And the emotional life, the emotional landscape of stupid people is comprised of equal measures: envy and hate, admiration. And so they envy and they hate their superiors, intellectual superiors. They hate intelligent people. They deride and decry the educated. They detest knowledge, erudition, and expertise. They put down, malign, and attack medical doctors, physicists, you name it. Psychologists, of course. Envy and hate are the outcomes of real inferiority versus real superiority. At the same time, stupid people admire other stupid people. The more stupid the idol, the more followers he or she has. Extremely stupid people are also extremely popular among the stupid masses. Dumb follow the dumbest. And so they admire and they follow these people. Because stupid people hope to emulate the extremely stupid. It's as if they say to themselves, there's hope for me yet. If XYZ has made it, even I can make it. They can't say this to themselves when they're confronted with an intelligent person, a public intellectual, a scientist, an expert, a medical doctor. They can't. They can't lie to themselves. There's no extent of self-deception, not even Dunning-Kruger. But when they're confronted with really, really stupid people, the likes of Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Vladimir Putin and, seriously stupid people, they admire them. They follow them. They idealize them. They aggrandize them. They say Elon Musk is a genius, and so is Donald Trump, and so on and so forth, because they are like Elon Musk. They resemble Donald Trump. And if these two idiots made it, so can they. Finally, stupid people are empowered by a series of social trends that unfortunately have converged recently. I mentioned a few of them in the talk with Daria, and I hint to another two of them. Democracy, one vote for one person. One vote per one person is a seriously bad idea because it doesn't take into account the quality of the voter, the background of the voter, how much skin the voter has in the game. Democracy, participatory democracy, democracy of one-on-one is a seriously flawed idea and leads to mob rule, ochlocracies, authoritarianism, and ultimately lethal, deadly totalitarianism. Adolf Hitler was popularly elected in fair and free elections in Germany, several times actually. And the second development has to do with fantasy-based technologies, technologies that encourage stupid people to believe that they are geniuses in a fantasy world, and at the same time create opportunities for mass followership, for mass admiration, for mass adulation and mass aggrandizement of exceedingly stupid people. These technologies have supplanted, have replaced the technologies that were subject to gatekeeping. Technologies in the past were not made readily available to the masses. There were people whose role, whose job was to prevent access to specific technologies, such as book publishing or the news media. Today, gatekeeping has vanished, all but vanished, and disintermediation has taken place. And everyone carries in his or her pocket an entire publishing and news industry and empire in the form of a smartphone. The empowerment of the stupid led to the elevation of the super stupid, the super dumb, and to the formation of what could easily be described as an idiocracy. And as to the rest, listen to my talk with Daria. The key question that Daria and I discussed is how come certain narcissists are winners, pillars of the community, very successful and accomplished people, while the vast majority of narcissists are actually losers. They're self-destructive. They end badly in interpersonal relationships, in business, in any endeavor they undertake. How come this disparity between camps of narcissists, the winners versus the losers? I mentioned to Daria that there are various types of narcissists. There's the malignant narcissist, a combination of psychopath, narcissist, and sadist. The malignant narcissist is goal-oriented. Because this kind of narcissist is goal-oriented, typically he or she is often accomplished. Other narcissists, known as prosocial and communal narcissists, are actually narcissists who are capable of collaborating with other people. They're capable of building teams. They're capable of motivating people to contribute to a common goal. They are leaders, natural-born leaders, or at the very least, natural-born participants in the social interplay. They pretend, of course. They fake. They fake empathy. They fake compassion. They fake considerateness. They fake everything, but they fake and simulate very efficaciously, sometimes completely unaware of their own faking. Prosocial communal narcissists are grandiose, exactly like all other narcissists, but the locus of their grandiosity is different. They're very proud of being hyper-moral, incredibly just and ethical, amazingly charitable and altruistic. And of course, they elevate, they leverage all these in order to gather around them acolytes, followers, fans, various kinds of gurus, coaches, online and offline, are actually prosocial communal narcissists, and they sometimes create cults, at other times create political movements, but they're very good at assembling people into a coherent mass, a coherent collective, and then marching forward like so many Christian soldiers. So team building. Many narcissists have charisma. They cultivate their image. They manage impressions. The charisma is fake and simulated, of course. This is what is called in clinical psychology superficial charm. But still, there it is. The initial impression is very favorable, and people get hooked and addicted to the narcissist's personality. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that there are correlates between stupidity and narcissism. Narcissists never learn. They never learn because they believe that they already know everything, and they never learn because learning implies some kind of deficiency or lack. And they are, of course, perfect beings, don't need to learn. They don't have a learning curve. So stupidity and narcissism are first cousins, if you wish. And stupid people less risk averse than healthy, normal, intelligent people. Stupid people evaluate risk, appraise risk wrongly. They misperceive risk, and consequently, they assume risks. They take on risks much more than other people. Stupid people are risk takers. And because risk sometimes pays, stupid people sometimes become multi-billionaires or presidents of countries, or you name it. And finally, we live in a culture that rewards both narcissism and stupidity. Culture that glorifies and glamorizes the traits and the behaviors of narcissists, such as ambition, competition, ruthlessness, callousness, disempathy, and so on and so forth. A culture that also elevates dumbness and stupidity. Ignorance is considered to be chic. Learning and erudition are for nerds. And so, in this kind of culture, stupid narcissists would rise to the top, of course, because they combine both traits that are perceived as a positive adaptation, not a maladaptation. Culture and civilization, our postmodern environment, encourages narcissists to decide, and we are gravitating towards a narcissistic psychopathic civilization, in which, of course, narcissists would define our values and assign roles and govern and serve as role models to be emulated and imitated. It's already the case in various spheres. For example, the likes of Andrew Tate in the field of budding masculinity among young men. Similarly, Donald Trump has an appeal among young, uneducated men. And of course, Elon Musk is considered to be a genius, although I repeat, he's probably one of the dumbest people I've ever witnessed. This is the world we live in, counterfactual, fantasy-based, catering to the dumb and to the narcissists, And so, welcome. And now, finally, listen to what Daria and I have to say. I think there are three social trends which converged and gave rise to narcissism as an organizing principle or an ideology of the masses or a religion even. The first trend is what the sociologist Campbell, he said that we have transitioned from a society of dignity to a society of victimhood. So now everyone wants to be a victim. Victimhood pays, victimhood explains the world, victimhood makes sense of one's life, victimhood provides direction, victimhood imposes obligations on other people and benefits the victim. So victimhood today is the name of the game. This is the first thing. The second thing is the transition from work to entertainment. When you are embedded in reality, work is the main activity. When you're embedded in fantasy, entertainment is the main activity. When you're embedded in reality, education is a major activity. When you're embedded in fantasy, all kinds of nonsense are the main activity. It doesn't have to be education, misinformation, fake news, just pure nonsense. So there is this transition from reality to fantasy, but together with this transition, we also have a transition from realistic activities to fantastic activities. So today, for example, Generation Z, there are many studies, many, from Vietnam to United States and so on. Generation Z regards work as a bad thing, a necessary evil. And the main orientation, the main wish, the main dream is to travel all over the world, to have fun, to play video games 6 to 8 hours a day. These are the statistics. To watch Netflix or something else. It's entertainment. The main emphasis is on entertainment. You work so that you have enough money to entertain yourself. And that's why we have the gig economy, short-term, temporary work, not any investment in career and so on. So work is evil, entertainment is good. Because entertainment became the core feature of modern life, entertainers took over the world. Donald Trump is an entertainer. Zelensky is an entertainer. Ronald Reagan is an entertainer. They're all entertainers. They're actors. There is no distinction anymore between entertainment and reality, because entertainment nowadays is reality. However, work is evil, vicious. Work is exploitative. Work is negative. So there is an attempt to not work as much as possible. Idleness. There's a glorification, an ideology of idleness, of laziness, of indolence. This is the second thing. And the last thing I want to mention is the abolition of gatekeeping. In the past, when you wanted to do anything meaningful, you had other people tell you whether your work was valuable or not. If you wanted to publish a book, you had to go to a publishing house. In the publishing house, there was an editor, sometimes 2 or 3 editors. They read your book and they told you, we're sorry, your book is trash. We're not going to publish it. Or your book is great. We're going to publish it. Similarly, if you wanted to publish analysis in a newspaper, or if you wanted to make a movie, or if you wanted to get elected, as a politician, whatever you wanted to do that had any impact on other people, you had to go through mediators. There was a process of mediation. There was a process of gatekeeping. There was someone at the gate. Today, we destroyed all the gatekeepers, and there's a process of disintermediation. In other words, today you can do whatever you want, never mind the impact on other people, never mind the quality of your work, never mind whether you know what you're talking about or you don't know what you're talking about. Nothing. Even academic publishing is mostly non-peer-reviewed. Most academic publishing nowadays is not peer-reviewed, as used to be the case until 20 years ago. So everyone is doing whatever they want. They publish books, make movies, publish academic articles and so on, without any supervision, without any quality control, without any context, without any real knowledge. When you put the three together, victimhood, a lack of gatekeeping so that essentially you can do anything you want, and the decline of reality and realistic activities like work and education, when you put the three together, you get a fantasy space where you can tell yourself, you can create a narrative of yourself that has nothing to do with reality and yet is convincing. In the past, if I created a narrative of myself that was not convincing, that was counterfactual, other people would laugh at me. The gatekeepers would keep me away from the gate. I would be humbled. I would be made aware that my self-narrative, my self-concept is crazy, is stupid. But today, I can create any narrative of myself that I want. There is nobody there to tell me or other people that my narrative is fallacious, wrong, stupid, crazy. So there is no vetting of narratives. All narratives are equal. Tomorrow I can come and say, I am, I don't know, the son of the president. And there's no real media, there's no reality principle like Freud called it.
Yeah, and when you spoke about that, I've got this feeling that it's about reality testing. No one is right now testing anything. So because it's a fantasy. Yes. So I think this is about narcissism. And yes, when you're trying to test, you will find that someone can, stop you or push you, like, don't do that, because you cannot test when someone is a narcissist, right? So I've tried once and I was blocked. I just, publicly asked one woman, like, do you have any degree on psychological field or something that you're treating people? I was blocked, and she just sent me a message like, we can speak privately. I said, I don't want to speak privately with you. I'm asking question that it's for other people, and that's it. So, you know, one question, I just want to check reality,
It's
and
even
that was
worse.
it.
It is even worse. In the majority of cases, the answer would be, who cares? Who
I
cares?
care. I still care, right?
Sorry?
I still care.
You care,
That's why
but
I
who
asked.
cares? Nobody cares.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody cares if you have a degree or don't have a degree. People ridicule universities. They mock education. They think education is stupid. They think universities are biased. They think these are political tools. They think there is attack on intelligentsia, attack on the intellect, attack on expertise, on knowledge, on erudition, on education. These are enemies now. These are targets of narcissists, because narcissists are incapable of all this. They are trying to take it down. They're trying to take these things down. And
That's
here's
why
the thing
thank you
about
that
this,
you,
because what does the narcissist do?
yeah.
What is a narcissist? A typical narcissist. A typical narcissist is someone who created a fictitious narrative, a counterfactual narrative, total fiction, about himself. This fictitious narrative is known as grandiosity. It is a cognitive distortion. It is not real. It impairs reality testing, but it's a story. The narcissist tells you a story about himself. And this story is evidently fantastic, completely fantastic, but the narcissist believes in it. And now, if all narcissists together create a common space, they will agree not to challenge each other. They will agree that your narrative is as good as any narrative. It doesn't need to be tested. It doesn't need to conform to reality. It doesn't need, so you have moral relativism and you have truthism. Truthism means your opinion is as important as any fact. Did I tell you the story once that in a forum, what happened to me in a forum? I was in a forum and one guy said, the Battle of Hastings was in 1066. Battle of Hastings is a famous date in the history of United Kingdom. In 1066. Another guy said, no, it was 1093. And the first guy, made a screenshot of the Britannica, the Encyclopedia Britannica, where it says 1066. And of course it was 1066.
1066.
And the second guy said, well, that's your opinion. My opinion, it was 1093. And this is known as truthism. That means there's no truth anymore. Your opinion is the truth. Your opinion is a fact. End of story. No need to, and no ability to check again. In Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica, you cannot trust them because they're making money, because intellectuals and scientists and so on are corrupt. That's why people didn't trust medical doctors in COVID. They said that medical doctors were bribed by the pharmaceutical companies. There is a total collapse of trust in institutions, in expertise, in knowledge, in universities, in gatekeepers. It's total collapse of trust. And this is also narcissism, because narcissists, they know they're lying, they know they're faking, they know they're deceitful, so they think everyone is the same way. They think everyone is like them. So that's why they suspect everyone.
That's why when they asking, okay, what you're speaking, I can hear, but give me the proof, give me the, some data or something. And even if I will send this, the person is answering to me, this is not true, this is fake. And I'm like, okay, so it's okay. It's your choice also, and it's mine. But this thing that you mentioned about this gatekeepers, that they was the people they showing what is reality exactly and what it's not, where is value and where is not. That's why sometimes it was a group, not one person, but a group to make some conclusion. This is, I think, the main thing that we are struggle, that because the society is so narcissistic, we cannot do reality testing, because you have to have healthy ego that has this function, and narcissist doesn't have that. So everything what you said, it's absolutely amazing. Thank you for that, because I think it's connecting everything what you said before with what we are struggling right now. So yeah, thank you for that.
I think we can conclude by saying that narcissists are shaping the world in their image. The narcissist is, for example, the narcissist is fake, so he believes that everyone is fake, so he's creating a fake world. The narcissist is aggressive, so everyone is aggressive, is aggression. The narcissist shapes the communal space, the common space, to reflect himself. It's an extension of himself. Narcissists always regard other people and environment as extension. They have only internal objects. They regard everyone as extension. So if I'm fake, everyone is fake. And if everyone is fake, I have to suspect everyone. I cannot believe anyone. I cannot believe the Britannica. I cannot believe the university. I cannot believe professors. I cannot believe scientists. I cannot believe medical doctors. Because if I'm faking it, they're faking it also. They're also fake, you know? And all this so-called science and so-called knowledge, this is also bullshit. This is all for money. This is all corrupt. This is all... So they are undermining the foundations of reality, because they can thrive only in fantasy. Only in fantasy.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. That's, I think, showing a lot what is going on this earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For this.
Thank you, and take care.
Thank you. So hello, everyone, and hello, Professor Samvaknin. Hello, it's good to see you.
Thank you, Daria. Good to see you again.
So Professor Samvaknin, the author of Malignant, Self-Love, Narcissism Revisited, amazing book that I highly recommend it to.
And the owner of Mini, don't forget.
I do apologize, and the owner of Mini.
Yes, you should apologize to Mini, not to me. No.
Sorry, Mini. Yes. So I would love to speak with you about, I think, one really interesting topic. Why some narcissists are so successful while others are complete failures and losers. Why is that?
Because there are various different types of narcissists. You have regular narcissists, overt, grandiose narcissists. You have covert narcissists. You have prosocial, communal narcissists. And you have malignant, psychopathic narcissists. So we cannot generalize and use the word narcissist. Depends which variant you are, like COVID, you know, which variant you are. So, for example, some narcissists are charismatic. They project an image of self-confidence. They give the impression that they know where they are going. They have a plan. And so people follow them and they become leaders. The charismatic narcissist is typically an overt, grandiose narcissist. But a much more successful variant is the psychopathic narcissist. The psychopathic narcissist is goal-oriented. In other words, the psychopathic narcissist indeed has a plan and implements the plan and is capable of pursuing his goals and accomplishing them. So the psychopathic part in malignant narcissism renders the narcissist successful because he is focused on goals and he is able to attain the goals. Similarly, the prosocial or communal narcissist, it's a kind of narcissist that is able to construct coalitions, is able to work in a team. He has the team building capacity. The majority of narcissists cannot work with other people. They regard other people as stupid, inferior. They hold other people in contempt. They're very obnoxious. They're abrasive. They're rude. They're arrogant. So most narcissists, the majority of narcissists, cannot work with other people successfully. Even when they try, after a while, They create conflict in the workplace, and there's a mess. The prosocial communal narcissist is able to put on a mask of friendliness, empathy, morality, ethics, communality. And so people gravitate towards this kind of narcissist. They believe in him, they trust him, they follow him, not necessarily as a leader, but at least as a colleague. So he's able to put teams together and to accomplish goals. And finally, we have to mention so this is in a nutshell, yes? Covert narcissists, for example, are unable to accomplish goals. Covert narcissism is a compensatory reaction to constant failure. The covert narcissist constantly fails. He is in a state known as collapsed narcissism.
Yeah.
So because the covert narcissist constantly fails, he compensates by becoming passive-aggressive, envious, and so on, and never accomplishes his or her goals. So covert narcissists are always losers.
Oh, okay.
Majority of narcissists are also losers. Ultimately, they self-destruct. Ultimately, everything they build goes down the drain. Ultimately, they lose all their friends, all their family, all their relationships. They remain alone, and so on. So majority of narcissists are failures. But as I said, there are these variants, these small percentages, small fractions of narcissists who are successful. I think the last thing we need to take into account is the culture. The culture, the social mores, social norms, civilization and values. So in a society that is essentially narcissistic, a society that values accomplishments, achievements, ambition, a society that teaches you to be competitive, a society that underestimates empathy and regards emotions as weaknesses. In this kind of society, of course, the narcissist would thrive and succeed. Each society rewards members of the society that uphold and reify, that embody the values. So if you have a society that values intelligence, then intellectuals would be the elite. Intellectuals would be successful. If you have a society that values money, rich people would be successful. And if you have a society like today's society, which is an idiocracy, it's a society ruled by and for very stupid people, dumb people. In this kind of society, dumb people would be revered and elevated and admired and so on. We have examples of people like Elon Musk, who is one of the stupidest, dumbest people I ever came across. And yet he's considered a genius. Because in a dumb society where the stupid took over, the more stupid you are, the more successful you are. Don't forget that stupid people are unable to gauge risk. They don't evaluate risk appropriately. So stupid people take risks that other people who are more intelligent would never take. So their chances to succeed are much higher. And yet the majority of stupid people are actually narcissists. Narcissists are incapable of learning because they believe they know everything. Narcissists are incapable of evaluating other people appropriately because they don't do emotions, they don't do empathy. So when we say stupid person, we can also say narcissist in majority of cases. And so in this culture and civilization that we have now, the more stupid you are, the more risks you take, the more successful you become. And we have the likes of Elon Musk or Donald Trump, Viktor Orban in Hungary, Vladimir Putin in Russia. These are seriously stupid people. And yet they are universally considered gods. Why? Because they embody, they reify the values of our society. And our society elevates ignorance, elevates stupidity. Today, if you're intellectual, if you're a scientist, if you're educated, if you're intelligent, then society rejects you. People The vast majority of the masses, they hate intelligent people. They hate intellectuals. They hate. And so the narcissist fits in because narcissists never really study. They never invest seriously in their work. They improvise. They fake. They pretend. They lie. They deceive. And they're stupid because they're incapable of learning. And this is the perfect profile of the idols of this age. And that's why today narcissists are very successful.
Thank you for that. And when I'm observing like many other people, the social media or just the world outside, it's difficult to seriously watch this, what is going on and what values and what people creating right now, what videos or materials, there is sometimes no values, and still a lot of people are follow that. So thank you for that, because I think it's really important. It's not only between couples or in a family members, but it's just going far much away. So
I would like to make a comment.
Yeah.
Narcissism is concerned with two things: image, impression management, appearances, not substance, not what is real, but what appears to be real. Imitation, simulation, mimicry, that's one component of narcissism. And the second component of narcissism is narcissistic supply. Being able to convert people into sources of admiration, adulation, fellowship. You want people to follow you, to subscribe to you. So narcissism is about these two components. So anyone who would place emphasis on appearances and would maximize the number of followers or fans or voters, or essentially would succeed in such a society. It's a narcissistic society, so narcissists succeed because they emphasize these two things. Anyone, on the other hand, who emphasizes education, expertise, authority, intellectual authority, the intellect, and real knowledge, substance, and doesn't care much about how many people follow or how many people like, or this kind of person is going to be a failure in our society, because our society rewards and values narcissists. Today, I could definitely say that narcissists took over. I think it's too late. I think narcissists took over. They are in charge. They're in charge of everything. They're in charge of politics. They're in charge of the economy. They're in charge of show business. They're in charge of entertainment. They're in charge of social media. The narcissists have taken over. And there is no going back. There's no going back. And so the question would become in the future, how come healthy, normal people succeed? Not how come narcissists succeed, but how come healthy people succeed?
Yeah, thank you for that. And don't forget about our field, psychology. I can tell how many covered, or not even, but narcissists are in a psychotherapy school or as a psychologist, many of them. And that was my second question. Narcissists, they are delusional. They cannot disconnect, like, from the reality. They cannot test reality properly. And still, they are more successful than these healthy, normal people. Because, like you said, right? Why is that? If they cannot,
because because our civilization is based on fantasy, not on reality. Our current contemporary postmodern civilization is founded on the rejection of reality, the renouncing of reality, and the adoption and embrace of fantasy. Now, there are no bigger experts in the world in fantasy than narcissists. They're the biggest experts in fantasy. So in a civilization that makes fantasy its foundation, of course, narcissists would rise to the top. because they are much more adept at constructing fantasies, introducing you into the fantasy, getting you addicted to the fantasy, and giving you rewards within the fantasy, positive reinforcement via the fantasy. Everything we recently invent or construct, for example, social media or new technologies like the metaverse and so on, all these technologies are fantasy-based. They're all fantasy-based. They all take you away from reality. If you are using Facebook and if you're using Instagram, then you have less time for reality. You have less time for your loved ones. You have less time for your family. You have less time for your friends. The owners of social media, for example, the corporations that own social media, they don't want you to be in reality. They want to take you away from reality, because every minute you spend in reality is a minute you don't spend on Facebook. And every minute you don't spend on Facebook is $1 less for Zuckerberg. So, of course, Zuckerberg would have an incentive for you to be single, not have any intimate relationship, not be in touch with reality, and embedded in fantasy. He would have incentive to make this happen. And these technologies are not only fantasy-based, but they empower the most negative effects. They empower envy. They encourage anger. They, above all, support stupidity. The more stupid you are, the more likely you are to appeal to other stupid people. And the majority of people are dumb. That's a fact. Actually, over the last 40 years, there's been a drop of 10 points in global IQ. So majority of people are becoming dumber and dumber, because IQ is like a muscle. It's like a muscle. You have to use it. You use it or lose it. We are using it less and less, the intellect. So we're becoming dumber and dumber. The more dumb you are, the more appeal you have, the more you attract other dumb people. So it's a vicious circle. It's a vicious circle, because dumb people feed other dumb people dumb information, and this dumb information makes the dumb people even more dumb, and they then gravitate towards even more dumb influences and so on. The circle of dumbness, circle of stupidity, is unending and self-reinforcing. And as I said, I keep saying stupidity, and our conversation is about narcissism. So
Yes.
you could say, why do you keep mentioning stupidity? We're supposed to discuss narcissism. Because narcissism is a form of stupidity. It's what I call pseudo-stupidity. Narcissism is a form of stupidity. The narcissist is divorced from reality, unable to understand other people, unable to learn, believes that counterfactually, delusionally, that he knows everything. Narcissists are stupid, and stupid people are highly narcissistic. It's a compensatory mechanism for stupidity. So that's why I keep discussing stupidity. Stupidity, I would say, is the symptom of narcissism. It's like temperature in the flu, when you have flu. It's the temperature, the fever. It's the fever. So stupidity is the fever. The disease is narcissism. And we have no way, in my view, to reverse this, because there are two social processes that encourage narcissism and, by implication, stupidity. And the one is democracy, I'm sorry to say, and the other is technology. The dumb people use democracy and use technology, abuse democracy and abuse technology to impose their vastly inferior capacity on other people, and to punish anyone who is intellectual, who is expert, who is knowledgeable, who is educated, and so on. We have entered a kind of dark ages again.
Thank you for this answer, because I think it's explaining a lot. And I have to admit, I'm scared when I'm observing this seriously, because narcissism is a positive adaptation right now, and this is really scary.
Yes, that's exactly right. Narcissism is not a maladaptation, it's actually a positive adaptation. in
Yeah.
today's society. It's very true.
So, what could you tell to let's say healthy enough people how to cope with that? What can we do? Can we do something
Narcissists are
about
great.
this dynamic, this social thing?
Narcissists are great at imitation. They're great at mimicry. Narcissism is actually a form of simulation. So narcissists imitate. So they imitate really empathic people. They imitate really prosocial and communal people, and they become prosocial communal narcissists. It's an imitation. It's not real. It's a way to obtain supply by pretending that you are ethical, you're moral, you're empathic, you're loving, you're compassionate, you're altruistic, you're charitable. It's all a game. It's a play. It's acting. Same with team building. The narcissist builds a team, or has followers, or has fans, but that's not real. Then it's a simulation of teamwork, because ultimately the narcissist is the only one who decides, and the narcissist punishes anyone who dares to disagree with him. You can have a look at Donald Trump, for example. Yes. So similarly, charisma or image. The narcissist doesn't have real charisma or real image. That is why we say in clinical psychology, we say that narcissists and psychopaths have superficial charm. It's not real charm. It's superficial. It's imitative. It's imitation. So the narcissist acts charming and has charisma because he pretends that he is self-confident, he knows where he's going to lead you to a better place, and so on and so forth. This is the key to surviving this world and confronting narcissists, the fact that they are imitators. Because they are imitators, deep inside, narcissists know that they are imposters. They know that they are faking. They know it. Even the most, I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm a genius, narcissist, deep inside, he knows he's faking. He knows it's not true. And this is the weapon. This is the weapon against narcissists. To expose them. To simply expose them. To confront them and to expose them. Once you confront and expose a narcissist, there's a process called narcissistic mortification. Yes. And then the narcissist avoids you, completely avoids you. Because this is narcissistic mortification causes extreme emotional dysregulation and suicidal ideation. In other words, narcissistic mortification reduces the narcissist to a borderline state. So this is very terrifying and painful, and the narcissist avoids the source of narcissistic mortification. All you have to do is confront the narcissist and prove that the narcissist expertise is fake, the narcissist accomplishments are fake, and so on and so forth. And if you do that, you're likely to get rid of the narcissist. If you do that as an individual, you get rid of the narcissist individually. If you do it as a community or a collective or a group, you get rid of the narcissist as a collective or a community or a group. But that's the only way to get rid of the narcissist. Now, you should expose. It's not enough to expose the narcissist generally. You should find out what is important to that narcissist. What is the locus of grandiosity? Mm-hmm. So, for example, if you have a narcissist who says that he is a genius, mm-hmm. and you exposed that this narcissist, committed a crime, that's not relevant. This will not create narcissistic mortification. If the narcissist claims that he's a genius, you have to prove that he's stupid. Mm-hmm. If the narcissist claims that he's knowledgeable, you have to prove that he's ignorant. If the narcissist claims that he has many sexual conquests, he's super attractive, drop-dead gorgeous, unbelievably irresistible, you have to prove that he's actually not having sex and being rejected all the time. You have to focus on the locus of grandiosity. If the narcissist says, I'm altruistic and charitable, I'm a good person, I'm empathic and so on, you have to prove that he's actually evil, exploitative, and hurt many people. You have to focus on the locus. The mistake with Donald Trump, for example, is that they tried to expose his enemies, tried to expose him where it didn't matter to him. He couldn't care less. They said that he sexually assaulted women and that he falsified his books, and he doesn't care. For him to falsify books and not to pay tax means you're clever, you're smart. For him to sexually assault women means you're dominant, you're man, you're macho. So all these exposures added narcissistic supply, didn't take it away. But Donald Trump thinks he's a genius, exactly like Elon Musk. If someone were to expose that he's actually an idiot, exactly like Elon Musk, who is also an idiot, if someone were to expose this, this would devastate them. This would demolish them. This would mortify them. And shockingly, they would withdraw from the public scene. You will never hear from them again. However, no one is doing this. No one is doing this, partly, I think, because most other people are equally, ignorant and uneducated and dumb and so on. So there's no one there to do it,
Yeah, understandable. Thank you for that. My last question was, so what is the difference, how it works for overt and covert NPD? But you already answered this on the beginning. So, because many people are,
Covert narcissists believe that they ought to be successful. They believe themselves to be special, and and they think they should have been successful. So they have alloplastic defenses. This is, I'm not successful because my boss envies me, or because I'm surrounded by evil people, or because society is structured wrongly, or because I'm not appreciated enough in the workplace, or because some institutions are after me. So covert narcissism is often coupled a lot with paranoia, with paranoid ideation. And the covert narcissist becomes angry and bitter and passive-aggressive and hateful and envious. And so all this situation doesn't allow the covert narcissist to succeed. He is unable to work with other people because he's constantly envious of them. He is unable to pursue a goal because he self-sabotages all the time. He believes himself to be superior when actually he is constantly proven to be inferior. So the covert narcissist is never accomplished. But unfortunately, most other narcissists, especially as I mentioned, the malignant narcissists, prosocial and so on, they are increasingly more and more and more successful. To the point that in academia today, in universities and so on, we have quite a few scholars, quite a few academics who are glorifying narcissism. They're saying narcissism is an evolutionary adaptation. It's a good, positive, evolutionary step forward. Narcissists are great leaders, they're great thinkers, they're risk takers, they're this, they're that, high-functioning narcissists. And there is a whole literature and a whole industry of glorifying and glamorizing narcissists and psychopaths even. Psychopaths as well. And these academics believe that narcissism and psychopathy came about because evolution required it. It's a positive, it's a next step in evolutionary adaptation and ladder. And so this gives a lot of fuel, a lot of ammunition to narcissists who are proud for being narcissists, and psychopaths who are proud for being psychopaths. And we have a whole pride movement of psychopaths, pride movement of narcissists. It's becoming something to be proud of, to boast, to brag about it. You see people competing. I'm more psychopath than you. No, I'm more psychopath than you. And so on and so forth. The values are changing. The values are simply changing. And people like me, I'm much older than you, but people like me and perhaps you were brought similarly. So people like us find it very difficult. Very difficult because our values are perceived to be counterfactual, non-productive, stupid even, and so on. Anything from reading books, to honesty, to pursuing knowledge, to having real expertise, to all these are considered to be stupid. You're stupid if you do all these things. In the current civilization, it's perceived as only idiots do that. You fake it till you make it. You get rich quick. You know, if you just think about it, it will happen. The law of attraction, the secret, magical thinking.
Yeah.
There's a pathologizing of the value system. The whole value system is founded on mental health pathology.
True, the values are changing, and I can tell how many this kind of topics I see. Magical thinking, you just have to think and you will have everything what you want, and you just have to seriously be focused on that, on the goal, money or whatever it is. And yeah, it's difficult to watch this seriously.
It's a fantasy,
but
yeah,
absolutely.
Reality became very, very difficult. Reality is harsh. Reality is unbearable. It's intolerable. So people escape from reality. People avoid it. And if you're intelligent, you can escape to books, you can escape to history, you can escape to art and culture if you're intelligent. What do you do if you're not intelligent? Then you escape to other non-intelligent people. You all go to the pub and have a beer, you know. In history, intelligent people and non-intelligent people always were segregated. They were always separated. In the 13th century, there was a big uprising in the town of Cambridge against Cambridge University. It was called the town versus gown. The simple people who were uneducated attacked the professors and the students and killed many of them. And the professors and the students ran away and established Oxford. It's nothing new. The stupid hate the educated. The stupid hate the intelligent. There's nothing new about this. In every revolution in human history, intellectuals were assassinated. In the Russian Revolution, millions of intellectuals were assassinated and murdered, doctors, you know, you name it. Always there is a cycle of the masses destroying the intellectual elites. Always. Always it's the masses versus the elite. And we live now in a period where the masses took over. They took over. Masses don't know how to manage things. They don't know how to accomplish results. It will end very badly. And when it ends badly, the masses retreat and the intellectuals take over to rebuild everything from zero. And again, the masses take over. This is the cycle of human history.
Thank you for that, Sam. It's difficult to hear all of these answers and yeah, to be and live in this kind of society right now, because we can observe seriously the changes that's happening. So thank you for this.
Think of it this way. Narcissism is the ideology of the less educated, less intelligent, less accomplished, because narcissism gives them fantasy. It is the new ideology. It is the new religion of the masses. The masses have adopted narcissism because it gives them a way out of reality. And reality is humiliating. Reality is difficult, and narcissism is the solution.
And I think this is a good point to stop. And thank you so much for this knowledge. Lots of things that you said. It will be good to be with it and just to process. Yeah.
People are not gonna like this interview, I can tell you. But
I love it. So
it has to be said.
Thank you. And thank you everyone, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yes,
Sam,
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
thank you so much. Thank you.